Okay, Lady Ada, we're live. What is this?
Alert, alert. It is time for the show and tell. It is Wednesday, and we are in a brand new location, but we're still going to do the show and tell as we do every week, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is your chance to show up in your pajamas and show off your project, your makerspace, your hacker stuff, your whatever you're crafting, your electronics, your cosplay, whatever. If it's cool, your retro electronics, come by and show it off. We have 10 slots for people, and we have until 8:50 or so to have you show off your project. So we're going to call on people in the order. Start with Tony, Nicola, and knowing Pedro, and afterwards Richard A, and then Tom, and Tom's friend Isaac, and whoever else comes in. So take a few minutes to show off your project, starting off with Tony D. Hey, Tony D.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Cool. Yeah, so I've got a quick little update. Maybe not the most fancy demo, but I've got the Circuit Playground prototype here. And I've just been working on finishing the Fermata firmware for it. And so that's a way that you can use like Python or JavaScript or any high-level programming language to control the board. So you just have a little firmware that runs on the Circuit Playground, and it communicates over a serial protocol that's like a MIDI protocol. So you can do things like read the inputs. So previously I did a little live stream on kind of implementing and showing some of the basic Fermata stuff, and I had like real basic reading the raw accelerometer values, and so now I've gone and updated it so that now the accelerometer gives you a value in gravity instead of like, you know, whatever little ADC value you gave before. So it's easier to kind of understand the values, and I've added more things. So I'm working on like the cap touch, capacitive touch sensors on here, so adding those. So basically, the goal is once this firmware is done, you can load up the Fermata firmware on Circuit Playground, and then use all of the sensors on the board with a real simple like Python interface or even JavaScript interface for it. So that's what I've been hacking on this week. And then the other thing too, if tune in Friday, I'm going to do another live stream on some Raspberry Pi stuff. So if you're not subscribed already, check out twitch.tv/Adafruit, and I'll stream there, probably in the afternoon or so Pacific time. And I'm hoping to do some stuff on Bluetooth Low Energy, like maybe start to kind of show how to use it a little bit with Raspberry Pi, because lots of cool stuff you can do with wireless communication, Bluetooth and Raspberry Pi. So.
Yeah, you did a great tutorial a couple months ago about you got a Bluetooth a light bulb, and you actually hacked the communication and got it to work via Linux using Raspberry Pi, so that's cool.
Yeah, totally, and that's the cool thing about BLE, and what I'll go into more like next week or this week is, it's an open protocol, so you can look at devices. There are lots of cool tools. Devices can expose different characteristics and things. So it is pretty neat in that it's a surprisingly open thing in a world that's increasingly closed, it seems like. So.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the update. Everybody, don't forget to check out that video stream on Friday. Hey, Noe. Okay, 1 second. Okay. We're patient.
One syllable. Oh, he just turned on a light in the background. Maybe he's doing Internet of Things.
And the light's glowing. Joel Dance, you want me to go to the next person? Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. Hey, Richard.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
sorry. No, you're back. Sorry, I didn't know if you were saying.
Yeah, I have terrible internet up here, but yeah, it's just me this week. Sorry, guys. Pedro has actually down with the flu, so hopefully he gets better soon. But that doesn't stop us from making projects because we got projects planned. So I have here is a very, very small. This is the NTAG 203 NFC RFID tag. So Lamar, you thought it was a really cool idea to sort of make a 3D printed enclosure for this. So what we did was we made a couple of rings. So these are 3D printed rings. These are very different kind of. So this one was printed at like 50 microns on our resin-based printer. It's the DLP SLA printer. And what we did was just made a little slot in here so that you can insert the tag inside there. It's a little hard to see because it's not focusing, but that's okay. We made two different versions. This is the FDM version, more of like the desktop printers, and this was printed with 50 microns. It looks pretty good, using like this kind of purple color, and they're pretty much the same design. It's just this one has more of like these Vernoy cutouts, so just to sort of test the quality of it. They came out pretty good. The tolerances work out really nice for. I forget Pedro's finger because he's the one who designed it, but the good thing is that you can modify the design because it's a parametric design using Autodesk Fusion 360. So the point is here that you can use an Android app like NFC Tools to assign tasks, maybe add some contact information. We did a quick demo where we just have it load the Tony's ALS retro video on YouTube. So you just put it up to an Android tablet like the Nexus 7 here, and when I put it up to it, it launches the video. So that's kind of cool. So that's this week's project. I've finally got my 5-volt DC fan from DigiKey, so I put together Phil B's project, Paint Your Dragon. He designed this in 123D design. It's a 3D printed enclosure for this little fume extractor. So it's using the PowerBoost 500C and a 500 milliamp LiPo battery. And it's really awesome. I like it because I have like this big fume extractor, and this guy's so small that I can just put it around anywhere. So what I did to test, and it's got a carbon filter in there too, so the fumes are all nice and not fumey. Where do I have it here? So yeah, over the weekend I revisited this old project here. You guys remember this one?
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun one. So this is like the $5 SNES controller that we have in the shop, and I broke it open because I didn't put a Bluetooth pair button, so I had to like manually pair it because like the computer that I paired it to like no longer works. So I used the fume extractor, and it's just a test, and it's so awesome and nice to be able to get the fumes out because usually don't use the fume extractor. Uh-oh. But anyway, it was fun because I used the silicone-coated wires, the 30-gauge stuff, and it's fun revisiting your old projects because it's like one of the first soldering projects we did, and it was a lot of fun because like I exposed the traces better, I found like better locations, and of course with silicone-coated wires it's like a lot more flexible and doesn't break, so the buttons aren't all sticky like they used to be. So I don't know, that was kind of fun. Not much 3D printing other than this like little holder thing for the charger. But I don't know, I played games for like 5 minutes, and like it took me an hour to do it, which was more fun than playing the game. But that's it. I'll probably do a live stream on Friday too to do more designing components for the Pi Zero, the Pi Girl Zero project. So yeah, 3D Hangout tomorrow, and that NFC project as well.
All right, sweet. Thank you so much, Noah, and I hope send wishes and good feelings to Paige as
I will do. Thanks.
3D print out a thermometer. Take the temperature.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Don't do that. Okay, hey Richard, hey, what's up?
Hey guys, yeah, actually they beat me to it. I just ordered 4 of those little NFC chips from you guys, and I was gonna design a ring, and everyone at the makerspace wants an NFC ring too, so I'll have to steal that 3D print. Just a really quick update for the LED Viva. So I got the new board in, 3 of them from Osh Park, and it's definitely a lot more streamlined. Unfortunately, I think they didn't isolate I think my trace isolations weren't wide enough, so there were a couple of random bridges between the ground plane to the battery connection. Sorted it out, and I was able to get 2 of them up and going by just taking my razor and doing a probe, but I just widened my traces, so hopefully the next batch is going to come out good. But what I wanted to really show off today is this video that I've got of an art installation that I've been working on with a guy here. So this is actually opening in a gallery on Friday, and what I did was install these LEDs here for the crosses and the sculpture. Those were custom boards with the through-hole mounted NeoPixel LEDs, and then they all go in to here to Metro to control all those LEDs, and then it's going to pan over, and you can see there's a wagon here which uses a geared motor, and the geared motor is also tied in with the Metro, so when you push a button, it's going to spin the wheels, so you can kind of see the belt drive underneath there. And then I'm going to push the button here in a second. You'll see it spins up, and those go for about 15 seconds, and then they stop. That was a bit of a challenge because those books on the end, they're solid acrylic, so they're really heavy, and it took us a while to work out the bugs so the belt drive didn't skip. And that one I actually ordered with my last order from you guys. It was the thickest, the longest belt that I could get. So I ordered 2 of them because I figured one might give him some trouble. So it opens on Friday, and hopefully everything's going to work out for that.
All right, cool. No, thank you. Congratulations on your art opening. Is this your first art opening?
Well, it's not my project. It's actually an artist, Tom, a local artist here, who came in. He actually did the sculpture,
Oh, okay.
and I helped him install the electronics.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, thank you so much for helping your fellow artists. You're
Yeah,
a kind man.
great at getting tons of other artists in here, so we'll probably be doing a lot more projects like that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Next up.
Next up, Tom
And Isaac.
and Isaac.
Hey,
Tom
folks.
and Isaac.
Actually, it's Isaac, and I'm going to be his assistant.
Okay, Isaac and his assistant.
So today I am showing off my partially built thermo tracker. Fever tracker.
Look it that way. So tell him what it is.
It is a Raspberry Pi Type A with a key cobbler and the DS18B20 temperature probe.
Neat.
And tell him what it does.
It will track the temperature of whoever is gripping the probe.
Oh, and you've got a display even, and it's printing out the temperature. That's cool.
Put your hand up here so they can see the probe.
So right now I am gripping the probe, and the numbers will be going up.
In
Okay.
fact, put the screen up properly. Yeah. Live demo, always fun.
Yeah, no, we can see it. Yeah, it's going
Is
up.
your temperature high enough not to have to go to school tomorrow?
No. They had a half day of school today for no freaking reason, but we got this done, so that was cool.
All right. Well, there you go.
Well, you're learning a lot more at home than I ever learned in school.
You didn't even have to have a fever.
Yeah, and this display thing we built using a spare Raspberry Pi with a power boost and a little lipstick charger for $9 at Home Depot or something. And it works really well. It's one of the few chargers that doesn't cut out when you put in the USB to charge it. So.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, and then
Good work, Isaac.
I have a question for you, Isaac. Are you going to graph this data or store it on like an Internet of Things cloud service, or are you just going to print it out?
I will be using Adafruit IO.
Ooh.
I just showed him how to use Git to get the libraries down into Python. I showed him how to use pip, so he can use pip now. So as we're speaking, it's loading the pip libraries in. So his next step is he actually made an account with you guys a couple of minutes ago, so he'll be linking back to Adafruit IO.
All right,
Oh, wow.
next week, if you get it working, come by and show it off.
Yeah.
I'd love to see this project.
Yeah, and we're also going to add on another thing.
What's that?
A NeoPixel ring, which will change color depending on the temperature.
That's a
Okay,
good idea.
that's cool. Now you're really getting like exciting stuff. There's internet, there's LEDs, there's displays. This is an awesome project. Are you going to enter this into like a science fair?
Probably
And where is it entered in right now?
the Pi Zero contest.
Oh, great.
Okay, hope you win.
Yeah, that worked out really well. We did a bunch of videos, and all people have to do is come up with ideas. It sounds like you have a pretty good one already. Thank you so much, Isaac. Email support@adafruit.com, and you will get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker that will go nicely on that box. What a productive half day you've had today.
All right.
All right.
Thanks
so
for
much,
helping out, Tom.
All right, and last up, C. Scott.
Hey, C. Scott. We can't hear you. We can see your Facebook.
Yeah, we see C. Scott Ryder and board.
Maybe it's time for Maker Charades.
Maybe.
Okay, so this is
He could write a comment on Facebook. We could probably read it through here.
how to convert part to form make part. Okay, text version.
Text version. All right, so he's
So
going.
this is some circuit board that already exists, and you can tell that there's some part that was missing, and so he replaced it with a regulator.
This is where you figure out the 79L10 is
Where
where
is-
as hen's teeth.
So that's a negative 10-volt regulator, and I've seen 79 LO5s, but I guess the 79 L10 is no longer made. I mean, like, it's pretty unusual. So you use an LM337 to retrofit. Yeah, I mean, then you got this SOT 223. Oh, I see that the L10 is rare, but you just used an adjustable voltage regulator, and then there's two resistors, R1 and R2, and that makes 10 volts. And it's a negative regulator, and then you just, looks like you have those 3 pins just soldered right in. And this
This
is
for the replace module.
module B. So it's just probably some synthesizer. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess it's a synthesizer of some sort. Musical instrument. Okay. Solder, oops. Okay, so you had it bored, but you didn't solder one of those pins. You should solder that pin. It's kind of fun. We're like flying through projects. Now for an error in my preferred programming language, solder. That's a quote by Rob Pease. His preferred programming language is solder. Oh no! So you thought it was a code thing. So you're like messing with the firmware, and then it turns out the pin wasn't actually connected. Yeah, that happens.
And it was an unsoldered pin.
Oh, but at least you found it. You know, the worst thing is if it's an unsoldered pins, you sometimes if you probe it, when you put the probe up to the pin, it makes the contact. So you think it's connected, so you have to be super careful.
Okay, and you said you have some synth tones for next time, so we'll just see you next week.
We can take it bleep, bloop, bloop, bleep, bleep, zoom, zoom, zing, zoom,
That's
doing,
what it's
doing.
like.
That's kind of what it's like.
All right, we'll go to Roberto, and then we're going to wrap up.
Hey, Roberto.
Unmute your mic and show us your project.
Oh, hey guys, can y'all hear me well?
You sound great.
Okay, I actually have just a verbal update. I haven't had much time to work on stuff because my day job has kind of come into this really cool transition to where we're actually doing stuff that I like to do. Normally we're doing a bunch of software that suits the company, and that's what they, you know, they're paying their workers for. But this release, they went ahead and let there be some efforts to improve our software development stack and our continuous integration technologies. And so like all of my out of hours work is like, you know, actually wanting to do work for the company I work for. And what's cool about this is that like before I didn't have any way to tie in hardware because I work currently in the travel industry and all the hardware is set up. So there's no innovation in hardware for software developers. But this release, like I mentioned, things are changing, and we're going to move towards using Jenkins and as our continuous integration server, and convert all of our existing applications that are built with Ant. And so they're going to go to a Maven build structure, which is going to allow for all kinds of automation in terms of testing, the actual product unit testing, and this is my personal instance of Jenkins, and you can see it has like my projects like the lizard enclosure and you know, the stuff I did for Pixel and Photorama. But the reason I'm bringing this up for my work is because now that we have this, now that we're going to move towards this, I can integrate it with stuff like MQTT and have you know, a little Arduino or something around listening. And what I envision is like these green lights that are here that will turn red if the build fails, or if there's some kind of deviation in source code, best practices, you know, they'll change color. And so what I want to do is tie in like a NeoPixel strip and have the lights on the actual physical LEDs change color when the build status change. So if there's an error or someone breaks the build, the LED will turn red in the office, and people will be able to see that like right away as they're walking to go get water or whatever. So
you should get one of these alert lamps, and then you can have it like light up.
Lamore, the timing was so crazy because like when we were getting the go ahead and like, hey, start your work, that product came out that day on the /new URL. And I was like, well, man, this means something. So
it means something, yeah.
Yeah, I'll likely, or not likely, I don't know if I'll likely, but that would be cool if I get to incorporate that into the, you know, into the setup. So that's why it's only a verbal update. And hopefully next time I can chime in, I'll have something worked out.
All right, well, you got a project to work on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, Roberta.
All right, we'll be doing Ask an Engineer in just a few minutes. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Isaac and Assistant Tom. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Noah. Tell Pedro, hope he gets better. And thank you, C. Scott, Silent.
We hear the tones in our heads, though.
But we hear the music regardless. Okay, so we'll be on Ask an Engineer in just a few minutes, and thanks, everyone.